SGA once again. Little hesitation. The left hand. What a move by SGA. Another block. Chet Holmgren, the long arm of the law.
Back in the game. Those are key minutes without SGA. And another drive. J. Dom cocks it back and throws it down.
This is Udart. You're listening to the Uncontested.
What is up, and welcome to the Uncontested Podcast. Coming to you live Friday, April 18th. Coming off that fresh new intro music. Shout out Justin and JD for getting in the lab this week and throwing that together. We appreciate you guys.
Justin. Justin moved into Nick's old house. It's awesome.
Gentlemen,
what can I say?
Before we dive into this playoff preview show, God, that feels awesome to say.
It does. Finally.
I want to let you guys know we are brought to you by Blue Wire Podcast Network and the homies over at Prairie Sun Artisan Ales. I got something to say about Prairie here in a second, so hold on for just a moment. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Okay, there we go.
I'm your host for the evening, Jacob Niffen. As you just heard, I got my guy, J.B. Silva, in the house.
Fellas.
Justin Peabody is here.
Hello, everybody.
Justin Peabody, again, live from Nick Crane's house.
Sleepover.
And we have Taylor Peterson, TP.
I'm here, and I'm stoked, especially after that new intro. You guys absolutely crushed it.
Incredible. Gentlemen, it's the Grizz.
It's the
Watch out. Watch
Whoop
out.
that trick.
He's got a gun.
That's what I was giving. Feels right.
We got a ton to talk about. Thunder versus Grizzlies. Gentlemen, back in the day when this team was making Western Conference Finals runs, it was through the grit and grind Grizzlies. Now it's through the gun and crime Grizzlies. That was a bar. I just came up with that.
was great.
Too.
I was wondering where you were going to go.
I was going to ask how long
I
you've been
literally
sitting on
just
that.
cooked that like live. I'm kind of in my bag right now. That was dope. Here we go. Before we dive into all of that, join the Patreon. It's playoff time, baby. You want to be in that Discord. The Discord tonight, incredible. We're having a blast, just talking hoops. Will there be meltdowns in the very near future? You betcha.
Yes.
But it's going to be a blast. Come and join. It's going to be, I can't wait. Exclusive content in the Discord, fun hangouts in the Discord, live watch parties in the Discord. Smoot says the clip and crime Grizzlies. Smoot, if you want that up on the screen, Smoot, you got to drop a super chat. Just letting you know. So join the Discord. Also, I believe JD has a little graphic to put up here on the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, you're probably listening to 7 days from now, unless you're in the chat, then it's 8 days from now. Saturday, April 26th will be game 4 in Memphis, 2:30 p.m. Central Time. Could be a closeout game. Could be for the sweep. And we want to have a good time with the degenerates watching that game. So next Saturday, April 26th, 2:30 p.m., we're going to be at Prairie Artisan Ales hosting a massive Thunder watch party. We're going to live pod from Prairie after the watch party. So you can go hang out, get some beer. We'll all hang out and watch game 4 together. If it's 3-0 going into Saturday, bring your brooms. Everyone show up to Prairie with a broom. I'm not kidding. Show up to Prairie with a broom.
That'd be
Show
awesome.
up to Prairie in your new Nick Gallo shirts. We're all going to have a fantastic time watching game 4. And then you can hang out afterwards and listen to us podcast live if you're into that. We would love to have you guys on, being able to hear you through the podcast because we're all mic'd up and stuff. That'd be really cool. So come out to Prairie Saturday, April 26th, 2:30 p.m. I'd get there early. Get you a seat. Let's watch some Thunder basketball together. Hey, you know what? Thunder, who was it? Somebody in the chat had it. I can't see who it was. You know what you could do on Saturday? Show up to Prairie, watch Game 4, watch them finish the sweep, hang out afterwards, watch us live pod, maybe grab you a little snack. Then you head to the airport, greet the team as they land from the sweep.
I love
Sounds like an ideal Saturday.
Sounds like an ideal
Fine night.
Saturday.
That's a fine night.
Anything else I need to plug?
A lot of exciting stuff.
No, there's something culturally that I had to talk about that happened. Haley Joel Osment, the child star. You guys know him. The child star was in Signs, was in
Yes.
AI. He got so hammered at a ski resort that he went up a ski lift with his helmet on backwards. And I would like for that to be me if the Thunder get far enough in the playoffs.
I thought this was going to lead to like him dying.
No.
Oh, no.
good.
He just got arrested for like DUI.
Oh,
I saw somebody
On skis,
I saw somebody quote tweet it.
skiing
like
under the
public
influence.
instructions. Yeah, I don't know. DUI on skis. Is probably not
SUI. That'd be an SUI. Skiing under the influence.
a SUI.
Suey.
I saw someone quote tweet
Woo big.
the report that said, "I didn't know it was illegal to be the man."
Yeah, instead of it, Ben Alper's got it in the chat. It's the ski UI.
Well done.
Yeah, well
That's
done.
the one.
All right. This is round 1 playoff preview series. Thunder versus the Memphis Grizzlies, the 1 versus the 8th seed. Game 1 is Sunday, high noon in Oklahoma City. Game 2 will
Happy
be
Easter.
The game 2 will be Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. in Oklahoma City. Game 3 is Thursday on the road in Memphis, time TBA. And then game 4 is Saturday in Memphis, 2:30 p.m. If needed, game 5 would be Monday in Oklahoma City. Each game has 1 day off in between. So they are quick turnarounds. Before we dive into our deep analysis of this series, let's first take a look in the rearview mirror at the Thunder Grizzlies matchups this season. JD, why don't you take it away?
Yes, the Thunder have played the Grizzlies 4 times this season already. And if you're wondering what happened, they won all 4. Obviously, various states of health both teams were in every time they played. Sometimes there was no Chet, sometimes there was no iHeart, sometimes no Jaw. But the Thunder won all 4 pretty dang convincingly. They played December 29th. Won 130-106. They played February 8th, 125-112. March 5th, 120-103. March 27th, 125-104. None of them were close.
Nope.
And that's kind of been the story with the Grizzlies all year. They have not beaten a great team in a long time. I guess tonight was probably the most competitive team they've beaten in quite some time.
And that what they played tonight was not a competitive team.
What they played tonight were the ashes of Nico Harrison's sins. And now,
Yep, not great.
now with no Jalen Wells, their awesome rookie they drafted, no Brandon Clark, who was out for the entire season, Jaws nursing an ankle injury, looking pretty athletic tonight, but I'm sure ankle injuries are kind of tricky.
Horse tranquilizers can only last for so long.
It only lasts for so long, but got a day to rest and take another one on Sunday. They also fired their head coach Taylor Jenkins here recently, so a lot of
Fairly important.
a lot of change, a lot of turmoil for the Grizzlies. They're going to get 1 day off.
The
You almost
Grizzlies.
say the Grizzlies?
Grizzlies?
Bar.
We might
The
have
Memphis
something.
Grizzlies.
We might have something.
Absolutely, yes.
They get one. They just lost to the Warriors. 1 day off, or was it 1 day or 2 day off? 2 days off. Played the
2.
Mavericks. 1 day off. Now they're going to play the number 1 seed, 68 win Oklahoma City.
Not even
Thunder.
1 day off. They have 36 hours from now.
Yeah.
They are playing in OKC.
Yep. That early start time, not great. for the
Early.
Grizz.
Yep.
In
Since
the,
the
I mean,
trade
whiteout.
deadline, I find this interesting. The Thunder currently have the number 1 net rating, number 1 offense, number 5 defense. That defense slipping, guys. A little concerned.
look out.
The Grizzlies, shout out to Kirk Goldsberry. The Grizzlies are in the quadrant of bad, which he doesn't even list their net or their offense or defense. They're just down there with the Mavericks, the Lakers, which is kind of interesting, the Bucks, and the Knicks. So pretty good stats heading into this playoff series, comparing how the Thunder finished this regular season in comparison to
recent history stuff. Yeah. A little more context that I'd like to share. And we're going to start with the Memphis side. In the 4 games against Oklahoma City this year, Ja Morant played 2 games. You guys want to guess his points per game?
Not great.
14.
It's points per game is 20. 34%
Hmm.
from the field, 30% from 3, 4 rebounds, 6.5 assists, 3 turnovers, a minus 16.5.
Oof.
That is not good.
Jaren
That
Jackson.
feels right.
Yeah. Jaren Jackson in the 3 games, 20 points, 36% from the field, 44% from 3. 3.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 2.5 turnovers. He was a minus 5. Desmond Bane in 4 games against Oklahoma City. This is wild, dude. 15 points on 36, 30, 86 splits. 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2.5 turnovers, minus 14.
Wow.
That's your big 3 right there.
Yeah.
That is bad. For Bane, especially. that is bad.
Not great for the Grizzlies in general. Also, I got a little thunder outside. If you all hear that, feels like a good omen.
It's an omen. The Lord
Better
is
than a
speaking
bear.
on Good Friday, buddy.
That's right. Better than a bear.
There's a grizzly bear outside right now.
That would be a great
I'd
omen.
go shoot it with Jaw's own gun.
Wow. Do you think he has any muskets in
symbolic.
his collection?
I just want you to know I'm going to be at game 1. And when Jaw tosses a grenade, I'm grabbing that bitch and throwing it back down there. I'm doing it. Okay, I want to switch these stats around real quick to give you guys the inverse, the Thunder versus the Memphis Grizzlies, and give you some stats there, just so we have some context for the season. This is ridiculous. All right, you ready? 4 games. What did Shai average against the Memphis Grizzlies in points?
32.
Yeah, 31.
Feels like a safe bet. Anywhere around 30.
36 points
Yeah.
on 54, 41, 89 splits. 3 rebounds, 7 assists, 1.5 steals, 1.5 blocks. A measly plus 22.5.
That's insane.
That is insane.
Plus 22.5.
But again, just like the John numbers, the Thunder's average margin of victory in the 4 games is just above 18.
Yeah.
So that those numbers check out.
Here's an interesting one. How many points does Lou average in his 3 games against Memphis?
I'm going to say 20.
I was going to say 18.
Yeah, I was gonna say 18.
5.
Ooh,
Wow.
5
Other way.
points.
What?
5 points on
Weird.
24, 27, 0 splits.
That's
Interesting.
interesting.
3 rebounds, 3 assists, a plus 25.
Hey, shout out Nico Harrison. Defense wins championships. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yikes. Insert
Jay-
side-eye.
Yeah.
J-Dub. This is interesting, guys. J-Dub in 4 games, 20 points on 50, 18, 92 splits.
Wow.
6.5 rebounds,
Decent.
7 assists, 3.5 turnovers, plus 11. Wiggins is a plus 13. AJ Mitchell only played 1 game. He was a plus 20. Hartenstein a plus 13. Alex Caruso like a plus 3. There is Kaysen Wallace was a minus 1 in this series. Ousmane Dieng a minus 1.5. Brandon Carlson a minus 0.7, and Flagler a minus 0.3. Those are the only negative plus minuses.
Pretty good.
All right, good talk. You guys ready to move on?
Sorry, there's a really big thunder outside.
I
just
know.
It is happening
some hail
where I live
going?
also.
Let's hear it, baby. All right, are we ready to dive in to this preview?
Yes.
We've looked in
Yeah.
the rear view mirror.
We've already got a super chat from Alan making the first prediction of this series. Alan says Shai's going to average 40.
Woo!
So to have a fully healthy OKC team as well, the media is going to eat their own words and stop disrespecting us.
Eat it, media.
Eat it like a Grizzly.
Can I get the mayo on that glizzy sounder, Silver?
Not mayo.
There was some mayo on that glizzy.
Oh,
Yours.
Can I get some cream cheese too?
I was thinking of another
There
compliment.
we go.
Cream cheese in the chat from George.
Perfection.
Silva, I just want you to know you have the green light to drop any sounder you want tonight.
Perfect.
All right. Gentlemen, this is going to kind of be just discussion based to start off with, but I want to talk some of the bigger themes that we're looking for in this series. Let's start by looking at the Thunder offense versus the Grizzlies defense. We're talking themes, matchups, lineups, etc. Justin, I'm going to start with you. First, who do we think the starting five is for the Thunder in game one? And then what is one thing you are looking for specifically when we're on the side of the court where the Thunder are going against the Grizzlies defense?
Based on recent games, would not surprise me to see the Thunder roll out the double big to start this one. Hartenstein had a lot of success against Memphis this year. I could see Mark wanting to bring that out of the gate and see what happens. I don't know if you'll see that throughout the whole course of the series, but definitely for game one, I think double bigs makes a lot of sense. When the Thunder are on offense, I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit because you let me go first. Who can stop Shai? Who can contain Shai at all? Who can slow down Shai? Because in the 4 games, nobody is the answer.
And that's
now
when
you
they had
don't
their
have-
best defender.
Right. And now you don't have Jalen Williams. Scottie Pippen
A
Jr.
rookie.
It is
Scotty would be the next.
Scottie Pippen Jr. Your
Him
hope
or
in this?
Desmond.
Or Desmond? T-Rex arms, Desmond Bain? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's going to be a challenge for Memphis. Credit their little German coach is going to have to figure it out. I don't know if he's actually German.
I think he's
But,
Swedish.
Swedish. Yeah.
Gonna make him look like a little Swedish boy.
No, I don't like that at all.
You said a little
Uh,
German.
Anyway, he's going to have to throw multiple looks at Shai. And I don't know that any of them are going to work. But I think that is going to be the matchup of this series because the Thunder have enough depth and firepower on offense that, like we've seen all year, any one guy can go off. Any combination of guys can go get buckets. J-Dub has had a lot of success. Hartenstein's had a lot of success. It starts and ends with Shai. And I don't know that the Grizzlies, I don't know that anybody, but I don't know that the Grizzlies have the personnel to shut Shai down or slow Shai down. Like, I think you're probably going to see him throw doubles at Shai because that seems to be the most effective thing. So you're going to look for guys like J-Dub. You're going to look for guys like Lou Dort. You're going to look for guys like Isaiah Joe to make Memphis pay for doubling Shai. You got to hope Shai is making good decisions because that's where we saw it fall apart. They throw doubles at Shai, careless passes, tries to thread the needle. Things fall apart. That's Memphis's best hope. It's probably, like I said, going to have to be multiple things, but finding success with doubling Shai is going to have to be how they make their living, and then hope the other guys can't beat you.
Taylor, one big theme, idea, matchup you are looking for in the Thunder offense versus the Grizzlies defense.
So something that we've seen through these 2 playing games with the Grizzlies and all season is the Grizzlies are another team that love pushing the ball in transition. They actually lead the league in pace. So they essentially play in transition more than any other team in the league throughout the regular season, where the Thunder rank 5th, which kind of surprises me. I would have expected the Thunder to be a little higher up there. But I think this is a team you can match that. There's some matchups where maybe, if you're talking about a team who plays in transition often, the counter to that is typically to slow the game down. I don't think that's the case this series for the Thunder. I think the more they can push the pace in transition, like we've said all season and all last season, that's when the Thunder is at their best. That's when they create some open shots for shooters. That's obviously when guys like J-Dub get going to the rim and, Shai is Shai. But I think if the Thunder can match that intensity on the offensive side of the floor, are able to push the ball, that's going to be key to the series. And I think we see it quite a bit. That being said, I think a big key to the series, though, is kind of what Justin alluded to. When the Thunder are stopped in the half court, they're going to be throwing multiple looks at Shai. So it's going to be other guys. Shai's going to, we've seen it all season, especially down the stretch of the season. Some fans have been frustrated by it, but Shai kicking out to teammates, looking to get his teammates involved. I think we're going to see a lot of that this series. And so if these Thunder role players can step up and hit their shots like we know they're capable of in the half court, where they aren't out in transition, I think Thunder will be just fine.
JD, one thing you're looking for, Thunder offense versus Memphis defense. Could be a lineup, could be a matchup, could be a scheme, could just be a big idea. What do you got?
I think there's just a ton of things to exploit with this Memphis team. This Memphis team, I think, is just, in a way, they have similar archetypes of players as the Thunder. A couple of years ago, the Grizzlies were kind of in the position the Thunder are in, where they're like, wow, they're such a deep team. They have a really great big three. But fast forward a few years, and their big three, though there are some parallels between the Thunders. You have Ja and Shai, but Ja is just a much worse version of Shai. You have a Bane and a J-Dub. Bane, although is a great scorer, decent defender, he's just a kind of a flawed player, more of a third option guy, in my opinion, with the very short arms, has a hard time when he gets a really good defender thrown at him. Jaren Jackson is awesome, obviously, on defense. He's a weird type of big, though, where he is really big, but he does not use his size at all. He's kind of like a cat type. Sam Vecini, who I listen to all the time, always describes him as having like really high hips. Like he just can't use his physicality to overpower anyone. And that's kind of a way to exploit the Thunder defense sometimes. If you have Chet on you, I don't see Triple J overpowering Chet necessarily.
I think that's part of why Hartenstein had a lot of success so far in the regular season against him.
Yeah. There's just they have a very flawed roster, and OKC has so many tools to kind of exploit and overpower all their flaws.
Nice. I think mine for Thunder offense versus Grizz defense. You guys have nailed it that the Grizz have nobody to stop Shai. And so what they're going to have to do is blitz him. And when they blitz Shai is going to have that release valve to Hartenstein or to Chet or whoever's setting that screen. And then the Grizz are playing 3-on-4 on the backside of that play. And you just know the Thunder can pick that apart. We've watched it all season long. I think there's two big things that kind of jump out to me as far as matchups in that starting lineup. One of three things is going to happen with Zach Edey. One, they're going to play a zone and just park him underneath the rim. Two, they're going to have him on Hartenstein, at which point when Hartenstein comes up to screen for Shai, you are either A, pulling Edey out of the paint and opening up a lot of movement, or you're getting Edey on a switch on Shai, which eat.
Good luck.
Eat.
Nice.
Or he's dropping back and then Shai is coming around the screen free, and then he's just going to get to that midi all day and just cook them. The other option is they're going to put Edey on Chet, and Edey's not going to be comfortable on the perimeter. He's going to cheat into the lane, and you're going to get a lot of Chet open shots. So that's one matchup I'm looking for. The other is Jaren Jackson Jr. is a very good defender. Jaren Jackson Jr. also fouls a ton. I think this plays into the Thunder's hand when they set that high screen, blitz Shai, he can get that slip pass to Hartenstein at the free throw line, who then can turn and float game or swing to the corner or hit a cutter. You are then putting Jaren Jackson in the most vulnerable position where he's got to rotate and protect the rim. And if he's rotating up to Hartenstein and then you get a dub cut, you're going to be able to start stacking fouls on Jaren Jackson Jr. quickly. And I think that's a place where the Thunder can really make a living.
Triple J averages 3.5 fouls a game, and Edie averages 3. And Chet's sneakily good at drawing fouls, and I think that's going to be
get to the rim. Get to the rim. All right, awesome. Let's flip the coin to the other side. Do we want to hit this super real quick?
We do, but I refuse to read it as it's written because I think Alex was trying to get me to say something on the air that sounds a certain way. Thankfully, I read it in my head first, but Alex says,
I just now saw it.
That's
so
awesome.
win this series, J-Dub needs to showcase his all-NBA caliber play.
I love it.
Those
I agree.
those in the stream can read it as it was written, but I will not be saying that. Thank you.
I love it. JD, let's flip to the other side of the coin. When we're on defense, Thunder defense versus Grizzlies offense, do you have something specific you're looking for? Is there a theme, a matchup, a lineup, a scheme? What's one thing you're looking for? Thunder defense, Grizzlies offense.
I mentioned on my other point how the Grizzlies players, specifically their guards, are pretty flawed in that they are a little bit undersized, might have some like length issues. Pause. The Thunder,
Between that and the chat right now, I can't.
the Thunder, though they may not have a bunch of gigantic wings to deal with some teams, what they do have are a ton of rangy guards and wings to throw at them, an endless amount, a revolving door of pain in Lou Dort, Alex Caruso, Cason Wallace, J-Dub, you name it. Even SGA is probably going to get some time on these guys every once in a while. And as you read off their season average, Ja and Desmond Bane's season averages against OKC, you can kind of see why. I think OKC is kind of perfectly built to just play man against those two guys and make their lives a living hell the entire series.
The chat is incredible.
The chat is insane.
We love you guys.
Think that's very fair.
I'll go. Do you mind if I go next, Taylor?
Yep.
Okay. When I look at the starting five, you're going to have Hartenstein guard Edie. Chet's going to guard Triple J. Dub is going to guard Bane. Dort's going to guard Ja. Shai is going to guard Scottie Pippen Jr. Justin, of those five, which one do you feel least confident about for the Thunder?
Do they start Scottie Pippen Jr.? Or is
They
it
did
Santi
tonight.
Aldama?
Yeah, they have been. Recently, they have been. None?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
there's not an answer in that.
Exactly.
Maybe if I
Memphis-
have to pick one, maybe Jaren Jackson Jr.
That's fair. When you look at what Memphis needs to do offensively, Edie is not creating his own shot. For the most part, a guy like Santi Aldama is not going to create his own shot. Scottie Pippen Jr. is going to try. Desmond Bane will go for his own shot. Ja, obviously. But the two biggest offensive threats, the head of the snake that you need to cut off is Ja and Bane.
You have so many defenders.
I would like
do
to
that.
introduce you to Lou Dort and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams and Alex Caruso and Cason Wallace.
Yep.
Our trick's about to get whooped.
And if you want to
The chat-
switch, we've got other rangy
Yeah.
defenders like Silva.
That's the
mentioned
thing,
that
right?
can
They're
go
kind of
on.
interchangeable. The chat is pointing out, I think Lou has guarded Bane quite a bit
Yeah.
throughout the season.
And then he put then you put Dub on Jaw. That's
Right.
Yeah.
And
Dub or Queso on Jaw is
and
nasty.
watching the game tonight, it made me think back to some of these other Thunder Memphis matchups. Jaw does not like physicality. He gets very frustrated when defenses get physical with him. History shows us the whistle gets a lot looser or tighter. The whistle doesn't get blown as much.
Right.
You guys literally said
more loose. More loose.
There will be less foul calls and more physicality in the playoffs. If the Thunder are allowed to play their style of defense and not get called for fouls as frequently,
right?
Not only is Ja not going to be able to do anything, Ja is going to be incredibly frustrated. And
especially on that bum ankle too. Like
I said this to somebody today. My homie Caleb and I were talking about this today. You remember the narrative last season after the Pelican series around Brandon Ingram? We could be headed towards that with Ja Morant. After 4 to 5 games where Lou just has this man literally in shambles and he's like crazy inefficient. There is a world in which we're hearing a lot of chatter about Ja trades this summer.
That was a reputation changing series for Brandon Ingram.
It was.
Yeah.
Because he had some amazing playoff series before that.
Yep. Yeah. I think that's totally fair. It's the playoff whistle is something I'm really excited to see with this team. To your point, Jacob, everyone wants to talk about Shai not being able to get to the line as much in the playoffs. But look at the flip side. Oklahoma City gets a lot of fouls called against them because of how aggressive their defense is. If that stops, the defense was already historic.
Down.
Right. Like, yeah, obviously they're not going to call no fouls, but if that changes at all, you're taking an already historic defense and elevating it by removing X number of points from the free throw line that they've been giving up every game.
Thunder are like 29th in the league. Yeah. Thunder are 29th in the league in free throw attempts. Their opponents are like top 3. If you make that an equitable playing field, I think Connor said it in the Discord. If the Thunder are within 5 free throws per game on average in the playoffs, they're probably winning a championship.
Love it.
Yep.
All right, TP. Go ahead, Justin.
All I was going to add was I think the other factor with this, Ja's ankle comes Sunday, probably going to be in bad shape. Like Sunday more than probably the rest of the series, it's going to be bad. If you think about the process, right? If he tweaked it against the Warriors, tonight he played and he looked good, but he had a shot in the butt to go out there and play.
You ever got a shot in the butt?
Not from a doctor.
Has anybody on the pod ever got a shot in the butt?
I have.
No, I have not. Oh.
I have. Can I tell 2 really quick shot in the butt stories?
I sure hope not.
Whatever you want.
Okay, number 1, the first time it's in the hip, right? It's like in the side of the butt.
That's side of the butt sounds
side of the butt.
First time I got a shot in the butt, literally blacked out. Just the needle made me pass out.
I remember you saying
also,
this.
I was teaching high school and I was like out sick with the flu and I got the shot in the butt. When I got back, they were like, Niffin, are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, but I had to get a shot in the butt. And this kid was like, what? And I was like, yeah, you ever got a shot in the butt? This brother thought they were like sticking a needle up my anus. I was like, no, dude, it's like in the muscle.
Oh my gosh.
So anyways,
there's your
in the glute.
Yeah, the Uncontested is my favorite shot in the butt podcast that occasionally talks basketball.
Anyway, what I was trying to bring up was that he played tonight, medicated. Come Sunday, like you said, 36 hours later after playing on it and playing a lot on it, I think he's going to be hurting. He's going to be hurting on Sunday pretty bad.
Especially flying.
Especially when you're throwing those, flying, and then you throw those defenders at him one after the other.
Yeah.
Not great.
I also think Alex just gave us another super chat with no comment attached because of how many times Jacob just said anus.
Yeah, I think it was because I was talking about my butt.
That's
Uncontested OnlyFans coming soon.
Yep, there it is. The Thunder win the championship.
Ja calls his ankle his jankle.
It's so dumb.
Hey,
I love it.
For what it's worth, I don't know if you guys have seen this yet. I don't like Jaw. Yeah, Alex says, guys, please stop being inappropriate.
with another $5.
Your fault,
Alex, just keep sending the $5, please.
We'll say whatever
I
you
feel like a
want.
stripper right now. The
Wow.
money's pouring in. Jaw does have a new shoe colorway called the Jawbreaker,
That's pretty good.
That's cool.
and it's pretty dope.
That's pretty
TP,
good.
Thunder defense, Memphis offense. What are you looking for?
I know we've gone long here, and I have 3, but I promise they'll be back to back to back and quick. The first thing I mentioned transition, but the Thunder led the league in steals. We know this at 10.3 steals per game. The Grizzlies were third to last in turnovers per game. So if the Thunder aren't able to get those turnovers, they're going to be it could be a reason for concern if the Grizzlies are able to slow down the Thunder defense in that way. The other thing I keep thinking about is I think you guys nailed it when we're going to see the double big lineup start together. But one reason for concern with the double big lineup that we've seen since Chet's come back healthy is there's been teams that have been able to kind of exploit that by, taking Chet out to the perimeter. We've talked about like when Chet's finally healthy, when this team finally gets Chet back and they can play that lineup, it's going to be great because Chet can kind of play that free safety role and get blocks and around the rim and be a great rim protector, not have to be that anchor defensively down low. But with a player like Triple J, you're going to obviously have to guard him out 3-point line. That takes Chet away from the rim. So I do, and Santi Aldama, right? Like they have some stretch bigs that will take Thunder bigs away from the paint, which is exactly what you want when you have a player like Ja who can drive to the rim. But that leads me to my third thing, which is something, Justin, you talked about when that stat came out here, what was it, like a month ago, that the Thunder, and strategically so, but they often leave a bunch of 3-point shooters open, especially in the corner. And that was a concern, obviously, in the Maverick series last year, throughout the playoffs last year, and we've seen it throughout this season. That could lead to guys like Triple J and some of these role players being able to step up and make some of those shots and keeping it closer than it should be. Again, none of these are huge reasons for concern when it comes to like the Thunder losing the series. That's not the case, but I think they are worth bringing up when we're talking about the Thunder defense, which how they could potentially match up against this Memphis offense.
Yeah, good point. If something is going to happen, it'd probably be some bastard in the corner hitting 5 in a game when they hit 1 to 2 usually.
Hey, am I frozen?
Yeah,
You keep freezing. I was looking at you. I was talking. You're like, your screen went black. And
Can you guys still hear me though?
Yep.
we can hear you. Yeah.
All right, beautiful. I don't know why I'm
You're
frozen,
just frozen.
but I'm gonna keep talking.
You did this for a minute.
I want to give PJ Washington just a shout out tonight.
Oh, he is. Yeah.
Quote from the
Why am I-
broadcast: PJ Washington couldn't hit the ocean, was said on ESPN tonight.
PJ Washington 0 of 5, 0 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 4 turnovers. Hey, I'm back. All right.
You're back.
Gentlemen, next on the preview podcast for this one.
Do I not
We are-
get an answer?
No.
I thought you already talked
It's
defense.
fine.
Go.
It's fine. Whatever.
No,
I didn't even
go.
want to. I didn't
Go.
even want to talk.
Go.
All I was going to say was rebounding.
Yes.
Offensive rebounds have been a strength for the Grizzlies this year. And I think that's something that, again, looking back at the matchups, I think Hartenstein has done really well. We've seen the strength of the double bigs at times be rebounding. I think that it's going to be on Chet and Hartenstein to be aggressive if they're on the floor together, to be aggressive in getting rebounds and to continue to emphasize that point, because the Grizzlies like to move it around. And if they miss, they're really good at getting second chance points. So Oklahoma City has to look to limit that. Okay, now I'm done.
There's going to be a time, multiple times in this series where Edey is off and Jaren Jackson Jr. is the lone big. J-Dub has guarded Jaren Jackson Jr. very
This is
well.
true. Yep.
We have a chance to get. Oh my god, who's already what?
That's Jacob Niffin's hair. That was quick.
Are
Oh.
you sure?
That was good work. I think. No. it's
No,
not.
because Jacob Niffin's hair just commented. We have a frozen Jacob Niffin commenting in the chat that is unique and different from Jacob Niffin's hair.
This is incredible.
That's incredible.
Caleb E.
Oh, Caleb. Well done, Caleb.
When they go the Jaren Jackson Jr. solo big lineup, I think we're going to see the Dub, Caruso, Queso, Dort, Shea lineup. That's going to be the Thunder's death lineup in the playoffs.
Agreed. That's my favorite.
That's going to be that KD, Iggy, Steph, Clay, Draymond lineup. That's going to be the death lineup. And I think it is just going to, it's going to kill somebody. It's going to be insane. All right, next on the preview. Shea cannot be your answer. I want to know who are the 3 biggest X factors in this series for OKC and why. So each of you get one answer. TP hasn't started yet, so TP goes first. We have to have at least one bench player on this list. Shea cannot be an X factor because Shea's the A factor, right? TP, X factor number 1 for the Thunder, and give us a 30-second synopsis as why you are choosing that X factor. Go.
I'll leave the low-hanging fruit for you all. I'll start with the bench player. I think for me, you could say it's either really have 2 players.
You go one.
I'm going to stick with Isaiah Joe.
Okay.
We've saw Isaiah Joe here down the stretch here recently when some of the players have been out, really kind of find his 3-point shot again. And we mentioned it all season. You look at his averages and they're incredible, right? But it's not like he's doing that on a per game basis necessarily. It feels like he goes through his hot and cold streaks. And kind of like we saw in the Mavericks series, the Thunder struggled last year to be able to generate offense and shot making outside of Shea. And I think guys throughout the playoffs, really, is kind of a bigger theme. But somebody like an Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins, they're going to have to be able to come off of the bench and be able to hit those shots. Because like we talked about in this first part of the preview, when teams are going to be blitzing Shea, that's going to leave a lot of open opportunities for the Thunder. If Isaiah Joe is knocking those 3-point shots down, and we know Shea loves looking for him, especially on the road. We know Isaiah Joe's great when he's at home. I think that's, you might as well call the series. Yeah, exactly.
Justin, who is your X factor and why?
Well, I'm also going to pick a bench player because the guy I want to highlight is Alex Caruso. Jacob's doppelganger. We talked about the filth that Oklahoma City has to deploy on the defensive perimeter, and we didn't mention Alex Caruso's name. I think Alex Caruso is primed to have a big series. I'm excited to see playoff Caruso unleashed. I think he has the ability to impact a game. We've seen it so many times. We've seen him play that X factor role where his presence on the floor is the reason why the Thunder won some games. I think obviously defensively, but the shooting that he can bring offensively as well, for all the reasons that we talked about earlier about, forcing other guys to beat you. If he can shoot reliably and bring his Tasmanian devil-like qualities to defense, then again, I think that makes it really tough for Memphis to generate the kind of offense that they have been so successful generating most of this season.
Justin, he averaged 19 minutes a game in the regular season. How many minutes does he get in the playoffs, you think?
That's a good question.
That is a really good question.
Because it feels like they've been holding them back all year a little bit.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if that climbed up near 25.
Agreed.
I might be more, I think, honestly. Since the All-Star break, Caruso is shooting 50% from the floor, 41% from 3.
That'll do.
And this is me putting my Homer hat back on, but some of these things we're talking about, like going to that small ball death lineup and the chat. Gosh. And Caruso's minutes going up. Like, I'm not sure we see as much of that in this first round series because I don't think you really need to show all those cards yet. But throughout the playoffs, I agree. I think Caruso will get up there, especially second, third, fourth round. We're talking about 25 plus minutes per game.
JD, your X factor.
I'm taking some low-hanging. We've used the term low-hanging fruit a lot in this episode. And I'm going for my personal favorite player, Chet Holmgren, who missed 2/3 of the season. Still looks like he has been ramping up since he's come back. Now it's kind of go time. Kind of have to play. Chet, we're gonna need you in the playoffs, and this is a good series to continue to ramp up, I guess, or see where he's at, because this is going to be a physical series for him. He's going to be guarding guys that are stronger than him. Triple J, though he may not be a big physical presence, still a big dude. Or it could be switched on to Zach Edey at times, who is a gigantic. Chet is a very, very valuable player to have. I think some of the best lineups involve Chet playing as the lone big. He offers 3 things that you need desperately in the playoffs to succeed: 3-point shooting at the big position, creative finishing around the rim, can make very tough shots, and free throws. He can draw free throws, especially against those 2 bigs. So Chet is my X factor here.
I love it. My X factor, who might be my X factor in every series, is J-Dub. You know what you're going to get from Shai. Shai's going to bust everybody's ass. They're going to have to send a double. They're going to have to blitz. They're going to have to get the ball out of Shai's hands. Stars win playoff series. When they send the house at Shai, you need your all-star, your second, I think going to be second team all-defensive team, has a chance to be third team All-NBA. You need J-Dub to step up and show out, handling the ball, getting to his mid-range jumper. J-Dub is at his best when he's doing 2 things. A, when he is trying to run you over and put you in your grave and then piss on it as he gets to the rim. And then when he gets the jumper going and can get that step back from 3, when those 2 things happen, you are done. And J-Dub has just there's a knob, and when J-Dub gets the knob all the way over there to the 9 or the 10, pause.
Lord, I'm about to bust.
When J-Dub gets turned up to a 9 or a 10, you can see it, and you're in business. All right, children.
Hey, one thing on J-Dub,
It just kept going.
It just kept going. Last year in the playoffs,
That's what happens when you turn the knob up.
I know. J-Dub did this thing in the playoffs last year that drove me nuts, which was he would catch a ball behind the arc. He would be mostly open, and he would have had a good shot, but instead of taking a good shot, he would pass it to someone, usually an inferior shooter, that they were purposely leaving open, like a Lou Dort.
Or Josh Giddey.
Or Josh Giddey.
Happy for Josh. Happy for Josh.
I want J-Dub to fire away immediately. I want that to happen.
Hey, just think about how good this team was in the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
You swapped Josh and Gordon freaking Hayward for Hartenstein and Caruso. All right.
Talk about that.
We need to move a little bit quicker. Biggest worry in the series. Could be a matchup, could be a lineup, could be a coaching thing, could be a scheme, whatever. We're going to go quick on this one. JD, what is your biggest worry in the series? Injuries doesn't count. It has to be an on-court type of thing.
Dang it.
To be honest, I have a hard time coming up with many worries, but if there are some, it's scoring outside of SGA.
Yep.
Okay. I like that. Taylor, what's your worry?
That probably would have been mine outside of injuries. So I'll say the second unit without Shai not being able to generate offense.
Justin.
Not the exact same thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
We'll let it slide. We'll let it
I know.
slide. I'm going to say Chet. Chet Holmgren has not looked the same since returning from injury. And my worry is that the playoff run doesn't get a positive Chet experience overall. I think this playoff series will be an interesting one because Jaren Jackson is a big body. Like you mentioned, JD, he doesn't always play big, but giving him the opportunity to go up against a big body. It's not the same as if Oklahoma City was playing Dallas in the first round. But I want to see how Chet shows up to kind of heat check what the playoffs are going to look like for him.
I like that. My worry will be kind of specific and a little along the lines of TP and JD. Mine would be Memphis going zone with those 2 bigs, packing the lane, and then the Thunder just having a couple of those nights where they just cannot hit an open jumper.
Yeah, that's good.
That could lose them a game. That could lose them a game for sure. All right. We're just going to keep round robining this because I like it. Grizzlies win the series if, Justin, you can't go injuries.
Grizzlies win the series. I mean, it's kind of similar to what you just said, Jacob. I think if you can stifle the Thunder's offense enough to throw them out of rhythm, Memphis is more than capable enough on offense on their end to get in a run and gun against Oklahoma City. If they can stifle Oklahoma City's offense.
Taylor?
I don't have anything else. And honestly, I bring that up just because I think that's kind of the point of the series, right? Like there's not a whole lot. I mean, it would take a whole lot to go wrong for the Thunder in order for Memphis to be able to pull this out. It is what it is, whether we're homers or not.
JD?
Yeah, I'm kind of with Taylor. It's going to be like several outlier performances from role players, basically, is what it would take.
I will say on the flip side, if they can get Oklahoma City's defense to not play disciplined, right? Like down the stretch, we saw sample sizes of Oklahoma City not being as tight in their communication, not closing out as hard. Again, Memphis is talented enough on offense to take advantage of that. It's hard to do over the course of a series, but if they can find the weaknesses in Oklahoma City's defense, which again we've seen get exploited at times, look at the Lakers were able to put up some absurd scoring outbursts against the Thunder very recently. Memphis could do the same. They do it very differently than the Lakers. It would not be as much from behind the arc, I don't believe. But I think that's again, it's a big if, but like I think that's another opportunity. Oklahoma City, as good on defense as they are, they have to stay disciplined.
I like that. I would say the Grizzlies win if there has to be multiple. It's if, and then there's multiple things separated by commas. It's not one.
Right.
It's if they are able to live in transition, if they get big performances by outlier guys. They'll need a Santi Aldama, like 25-point game, one game. They'll need Zach Edey to have like a 10 and 20 night type of thing. If the Thunder have just a bad shooting series, there has to be multiple things. Flip side, Justin, the Thunder win the series if
the sun comes out tomorrow.
Beautiful. I love it.
Which it might not. It's supposed to rain all day.
JD, Thunder win the series if
they get average contributions from all of their players.
Caleb's on a roll tonight.
Caleb B says Memphis shot miss, dog piss don't matter. Thunder in 4.
I love it.
TP, Thunder win the series if
they stay disciplined and pray. It will be Easter after all, game 1. If they play their brand of basketball, which we've talked so much about, is pushing the ball in transition, sharing the basketball at backdoor cuts, and Shai and Dub do their thing.
Thunder win if they play at their median level of the regular season.
Agreed.
They don't have to play at the level that they did in those Celtics games, but then you don't want them to play at like the sleepy loss to the Spurs. If they play at the middle of the road, they win.
Agreed.
What's wild is how long Memphis spent in the top 4 of the West this season. How close they were, right? We talked about it coming down the stretch, like how close they were to the 3 in the last 2 games of the season. And yet, this is how we're evaluating the series.
Welcome.
It's pretty crazy.
A, it's crazy. B, welcome to the West.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Okay. One more thing before we get to predictions.
Now watch this drive.
Is there context for that?
No.
Thank you.
Do you know what that is?
Do I? Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
W.
Just checking. I didn't know if you were on the show when that was birthed.
Yeah, I was here. We're each going to make a bet. Kind of like your bet can't be like Thunder in 4 Your bet has to be something kind of unique, prop bet type of thing, something that will happen in the series. Before we make bets, are we making a payoff?
I don't know what it would be. We can have. I don't know what it would be.
Chad, if you think of something, let us know. It could be like we owe that person dinner, something cool for the social media channel, whatever.
Yeah.
Justin, do you have your bet ready?
You bet I do. My prop bet for this series is that Hartenstein gets a 20-20 game.
Nice.
Ooh.
I mentioned the importance of rebounding.
Can we get a sounder for that, Silva?
Yeah, Silva, you got to fire off sounders for each of these bets.
Dealer's choice.
Statistics, Holmes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well done.
TP. Oh, sorry, Justin. Were you still going?
I was just going to say, Hartenstein's, I think, been a big factor in the games that he's played this season against Memphis. I think he's got a big opportunity, and I think if he has a game like that, it's going to go a long way in swinging the series.
TP, your bet for the series.
Talked a lot about Chet. Justin, that was one of your X Factor. Which one of you had the X Factor?
Me.
Yeah, it was Silva.
No, that was
But
Silva. Just kidding.
Justin did talk about Chet coming back from injury, not quite looking the same. I think one game this series, each of Chet, J-Dub, and Shai all have 20-plus points apiece.
So one game, they all have
20
plus in the same
At
game.
least 20.
I like that. JD, what's the sounder?
Bucks.
Hey, shout out Dame coming back. Being
Hey,
healthy. That's good to see.
that sounder is like the opening of hunting season.
Those two sounders back to back. It's perfect.
JD, what is your bet?
The Dame tweets about him being. We've never seen healing like this before. He's a supernatural healer. It's very strange.
Him and LeBron.
Very strange. Mine, I have a funny one, and I have one that I would actually want to do. I'll probably do the one that I actually want to do.
Okay, give us the funny one.
Give us both.
The funny one is Ja debuts a third weapon-based celebration.
Okay.
I think that's a lock.
Could be a lock. It could be a lock.
Hammering the over on that. Okay.
The
What's
one
your
that
real
I
one?
want to do is that Chet scores more points in the series than Desmond Bain.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's a good one. I kind of have two that I've been mulling over as well. Should I go a starter one or a bench one for my official bet?
Cheat and give us both.
I'm gonna give you both, but which one's gonna be the one on the books?
Do the
Yeah,
bench
that's
one. We don't
fair.
have a bench one.
Okay,
Bench it up.
I'll bench it up. My starter one was Hartenstein hits his first three.
Oh,
That's
Bold.
spicy.
Bold.
My bench one then will be. I'm kind of cooking this up live. I started thinking about this whenever Justin started the bets. First 4 games of the series, the only 4 games in the series.
Move.
And I can't say in crunch time because we might not have crunch time in some of these. It just might be a blowout. If there is crunch time, Case and Wallace is in that final 5.
I think that feels likely as well. We had a game 1 thriller against the Pelicans last year where Queso put the clamps on CJ.
So I'm saying if game 1, if we're at a 10-point game with 5 minutes left, Queso is on the floor.
Yep.
Game 2, if with 8 minutes left, it's an 8-point game, and then they blow it open and play the bench. But in that span where they blow it open, Kaysen is on the floor. Game 3, Memphis is back at home. They're making a push. It's a 6-point game with 3 minutes to go. Kaysen Wallace is on the floor. I think they're going to close with Queso.
That's a good bet.
I like it.
Good bet.
Awesome. Chat, if you have bet payoff ideas, these aren't bad things. These are good things.
I was going to say,
get it right.
Can we say like rewards?
Yes, bet rewards, not bet payoffs.
Loser
If
has
you
a
have-
Chet Holmgren haircut.
Joke's on you, buddy.
Fair.
So a bet reward. If we get it right, we get something cool. What should that be?
JD gets tarred and feathered at Scissortail Park.
That's a reward for me.
All right, we're gonna go rapid fire. I'm gonna give you guys a series. You get 3 sentences to tell us
A
a haiku. You're giving us a haiku of the series, and then we're all making a prediction.
How many
Also,
comments
shout
do I
out
get?
Thunder Chick for reminding everyone that I won the playoff predictions last year.
That is true.
Let the record show.
Thunder Chick, if you want to keep track of these predictions,
Hang
let
the
me know.
banner.
Feel free. JD, you're going to start us off with Cavs versus Heat. Give us just the quick synopsis of the series, and then give us your prediction.
Synopsis of the series. The Cavs are amazing. The Heat barely got into the playoffs in general. They do not have Jimmy Butler on their team anymore. Their best player is Tyler Hero. This is more than 3 sentences. The Cavs in 4.
Taylor, what's your prediction?
Cavs in 4.
Justin?
Cavs in 5.
I'll go Cavs in 4. Justin, you can lead us off on the next one. Celtics versus Magic.
Man, Celtics are so good. The Magic, I think, are probably primed to also steal a game, but I'm probably going Boston in 5.
Taylor?
Yeah, I'm going Boston in 5 as well. I think the Magic will be able to get one at home. We've seen them play well in the play-in, but that'll be it.
JD?
Boston in 4.
I got Boston in 5. Taylor, give us a quick synopsis of Knicks Pistons.
This is honestly a really interesting matchup, I think, in the East, because the Pistons have been one of the most red-hot teams, really, of the season, much less the second part of the season. The Knicks have kind of faltered a little bit after a really hot start, and we've seen they had the Jalen Brunson injury mixed in there the second part of the season, and obviously Tibbs loves to run his players into the ground. Ultimately, I think the Knicks just have the experience. They have the players, where the Pistons still are very inexperienced. They've been a fun regular season story. But with all that being said, I think Knicks in 6. It rhymes.
Knicks in 6.
Knicks in 6.
JD?
Knicks in 6.
Justin?
Sketchy.
Knicks in 6. Well, I just asked Chat GPT to write me a haiku about this one, just because it felt like we owed everyone a haiku. So the official haiku: garden lights blaze bright, Pistons stall in orange fog, Knicks rise, gears undone. Knicks in 6.
Boom.
Bar.
Yes. Bar. Incredible. Jacob?
Yeah. Give me Knicks in 5.
Damn.
Give me Knicks in 5.
Speaking of which, you're up. Last
I'm up.
one for the East.
Bucks Pacers. We'll see what happens with Dame. The Pacers have kind of turned the season around as it's come down the stretch here. Giannis is a nightmare to guard, but the Bucks have been very disappointing. That chat is just ridiculous. Give me Pacers in 6.
Nice.
JD?
Pacers in 6.
Justin?
Oh. I thought I was going to be spicy by saying Pacers in 7.
Ooh.
Taylor?
I'm going to be the spicy one. That might be a sounder. So many, it feels like all the smart NBA people, quote unquote, are picking the Pacers, and I get it due to their defense, how they finished the regular season. But ultimately, when you have Giannis in the first round, I'm going to go Bucks in 7. Bucks.
JD, give us a quick rundown of Rockets Dubs.
This is a really fun series.
Fun series. Yeah.
This is kind of like Rockets remind me of like early era Thunder a little bit. Just a ton of athletes like playing against an older veteran Warriors team that kind of remind me of the Spurs team that those old Thunder teams used to play. You're probably gonna go. Where does the offense come from? From Houston? I don't know. The Warriors are gonna get a ton of free throws, and they have Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler. I'm probably gonna pick. What am I gonna do? This is actually very tough.
It is.
Rockets in 6.
Ooh.
I'm going Rockets in 7. Jimmy Butler averages 14 free throw attempts a game. Taylor.
Yeah. Yep. I got Rockets in 7 as well. I think the Rockets are being slept on. Their defense is great. And I worry about the Warriors being able to get offense outside of Pods, Steph, and Jimmy.
Justin.
I'm gonna go Rockets in 5.
Ooh, I love it.
God.
I for all the reasons you guys said, I think the Warriors are cooked.
Yeah,
I love it.
I
I
don't
think
I
so
don't
many
see
people
it.
are gonna pick them. I think a lot of people are gonna pick the Warriors.
They
Like,
are, and like Vegas loves them in this matchup, which
Yep.
but I think Houston, as much as it pains me on a personal level,
Yeah,
I think
for what it's
Houston's
worth, I
gonna
hate
surprise
both
people.
teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can they both lose?
Justin, give us a quick rundown. Lakers Wolves.
Lakers Wolves, one that I feel like people have been turning on the Wolves lately, and like kind of similar to the last series. Like it feels like everyone thinks this is going to be a cakewalk for the Lakers. The Wolves are rightfully a bit of a disaster at times, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this one go 6 games and be fairly competitive. But I'm going Lakers in 6.
Taylor.
I've got the same exact thing. I think Ant is enough to win a couple games on the road, but ultimately the Lakers just have the talent and the experience.
You sure you're going Lakers 6?
Lakers in 6.
JD.
Lakers in 6.
I can't just keep matching you guys.
It's hard to bet against LeBron and Luka.
Give me Wolves in 7.
Oh wow!
Thunder Chick, I hope you're keeping track of this. Taylor, give us the quick synopsis. Nuggets Clippers.
So I know it seems like all the talk is on Rockets Warriors series. Honestly, I think Nuggets Clippers is my favorite of the first round. And it's 4 versus 5. I get it, but that wasn't in stone, right? Until here the past couple of days of the regular season. Clippers are playing their best basketball right now. The Nuggets, not quite. Fired their head coach and their GM. A lot of turmoil there. Maybe you can say that will inspire them. I understand it's hard to bet against Nikola Jokic in a playoff series, but with that being said, I think the Clippers have the defenders, the best defenders outside of the Thunder to really defend this Nuggets team. It's going to come down to players outside of Jokic stepping up and being able to perform at a high level consistently, which we haven't really seen from the Nuggets. Give me Clippers in 7.
Justin.
Clippers in 6. I think
JD.
I agree with a lot of the points you just made.
JD.
Yeah, I think the Clippers just have a better roster, and it is all heavily predicated on Kawhi Leonard being healthy for the series. He's usually healthy for round 1. It's round 2 where things usually come into play. Yeah, I think Jokic is going to get a ton of MVP votes and lose in the first round.
Give me Denver in 6. All right. I'm up.
Last one.
Thunder versus the Memphis Grizzlies. We've looked at it. We've talked about what happens if the Thunder wins the series, what happens for the Grizz to win the series, what the offense and defensive matchups look like, X factors for the Thunder. We've picked it apart, gentlemen. Now we got to be officially on the books. It's my game, not my game. My like synopsis. So I will go first. And I'm sticking to my guns that I've said for a long time. That's Thunder in 4. Bring your brooms to Prairie next Saturday, 2:30 p.m. JD.
Some of you may say, "Oh, JD's only saying this because he has tickets to Game 5 and he really wants to go to Game." Thunder in 5.
TP.
I love that rationale.
Grizzlies in 7. I'm kidding. My heart tells me Thunder in 4, but my brain is telling me that the Thunder will probably go on the road. The Grizzlies will have a response there, not wanting to get swept, and we'll see one of those games where the Thunder role players and the the Thunder players in general just won't be able to hit outside shots. So for that reason, those reasons, I'm going Thunder in 5.
Justin.
I am also going Thunder in 5.
Wow. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, do we have the right outro music, JD?
No, we do not.
You can just play the intro again because it's really cool.
Yeah. I don't
Kidding,
know.
kidding.
I
We
love
don't do
that. No.
No.
Okay. Well, hey, thank you guys for listening to the show. The official round 1 playoff preview, Thunder versus Memphis Grizzlies. We're kicking this bad boy off Easter Sunday, noon in Oklahoma City. We will not have stickers ready by game 1 to hand out to you guys. Maybe by game 2 and definitely by the watch party. I got to tell y'all, leave a comment if you're watching this on a replay on YouTube. Drop a 5-star rating if you're listening on your podcast platform of choice. Join the Patreon and come hang out with all the Thunder fans as we enjoy.
Is that too loud?
Just a hair. Come join the Patreon, hang out with us. Folks, we will be back here live after every game of the playoffs, win or lose. So after game 1 is concluded, I don't know if we're going live right after the game or at 9 p.m. like normal, but we'll be here. And then we'll be here right after game 2 on Tuesday. We'll be here right after game 3 on Thursday. And we'll be here right after the game 4 sweep that I think is going to happen, but these jokers don't. Saturday, live at Prairie. Make your plans, mark your calendar. Hey, you need to be at Prairie next Saturday at 2:30 p.m. Shout out to my homie Jared. His kids love Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith is going to be reshown in theaters next Saturday at 2. You know what Jared did? Sold his tickets.
Yeah.
Coming to the watch party. Jared said, Revenge of the Sith's on Disney Plus all the time.
Watch the home, kids.
Game 4 watch party at Prairie only happens once.
It's a sicko.
Shout out to the homie Jared. Make your plans. Come out. Hang out with us at Prairie. It is going to be a blast. We will see you then. Thunder the heck up. Game 1. Can't wait. Playoffs are here. We'll be with you guys till June. We'll probably be live at the parade too. Until Sunday. Thunder up.